Prime Minister of Ethiopia just an hour ago published a message for Tigray. He met with a delegation from Tigray, and then after that he released a message. But what is happening in the background? What did the Prime Minister say, and what is he actually doing? Because some efforts have been made for a meeting involving Pretoria deal mediators to de-escalate the situation between federal government and TPLF, but the Prime Minister seems to be resisting the idea of the meeting. Welcome to My Views and News. Thanks for watching the channel. Firstly, the Ethiopian Prime Minister held a meeting with a delegation from Tigray. Secondly, what is he doing in the background where some real efforts are being made for de-escalation? When the Prime Minister addressed Ethiopian Parliament a few days ago, he asked religious leaders, elders, businessmen, civil society to intervene to avert another war in Tigray, saying the new war could be deadlier. Then we saw a statement from Tigray religious leaders, Orthodox of Ethiopia, Orthodox of Tigray issued a statement criticizing the federal government and the Prime Minister, saying the Prime Minister was not connected with the reality, and the people are suffering in Tigray, and the federal government, the Prime Minister, don't know what is happening in Tigray. Then we heard that the Tigray Orthodox Church had sent delegation to Addis Ababa. If you remember, I said that first of all, Orthodox of Tigray should not have issued a statement before meeting with the Prime Minister. Secondly, they should have sent a representative delegation with representation of all religious institutions and other sections of society. A very representative delegation met with the Prime Minister today from Tigray. So this is not the same delegation which Orthodox Church sent to Addis Ababa a few days ago. It seems to be a new delegation, I think. It had members from religious institutions, members from civil society. That's what I'm saying. It is a representative delegation. Met with the Prime Minister. Did the Orthodox Church of Tigray delegation meet with the Prime Minister? I don't know. But this delegation has met with the PM. The PM has shared pictures of his meeting with the delegation. The Prime Minister says that the government has always been committed to solving issues through dialogue. That is why it started institutions like National Dialogue Commission, National Rehabilitation Commission, etc. By the way, from day one, I've been saying National Dialogue Commission will serve no purpose, and that is what is happening. It's a waste of money. Government is not sincere. It has been boycotted. Commission has been boycotted by main parties. Main players not involved in the commission. That is why it's a useless exercise. Prime Minister sells the Dialogue Commission when he speaks to the national community that he is all for peace. He's all for dialogue. But as I said earlier, National Dialogue Commission has achieved nothing so far. It's a waste of money. So the PM says that government has always been trying negotiations and reconciliation to end conflicts, because chaos breeds conflict and conflict breeds wars, which are devastating for the people. That is why chaos should be controlled through negotiations. He said that he discussed with delegation from Tigray issues like return of IDPs, political situation, economic situation, etc. And he reiterated government's position that government wants to solve this issue through negotiation, through dialogue. So this is what the Prime Minister said. Is he paying lip service to the idea of negotiations? Does he want to avert a war which seems to be uh, looming? What is he doing in the background where some efforts are being made to diffuse the real tension? TPLF contacted Huro Kenyatta, former Kenyan president, who is one of the mediators of Pretoria deal. TPLF has contacted Huro Kenyatta and Olusegun Obasanjo, the two men who were the face of mediation along with Americans, which led to the mediation which led to Pretoria deal. And TPLF requested these African leaders to convene an urgent meeting of AU observers involving TPLF, involving federal government of Ethiopia, so that the issues could be solved. Issues like return of IDPs, issues like status of Volcaid, issues like status of TPLF. Two main issues being raised by TPLF: firstly, restoration of return of Tigray IDPs. Secondly, return of Volcaid to Tigray. I think issue of restoration of TPLF status might not be relevant because Pretoria is not clear about TPLF status. That's my reading of Pretoria. So TPLF wants, but basically TPLF wants restoration of its status. But in its context with Uhuru Kenyatta and Olusegun Obasanjo, people raised two main issues: Volcaid and the return of IDPs. Now, Uhuru Kenyatta and Olusegun Obasanjo are trying to arrange a meeting between TPLF and federal government involving mediators as well. Uhuru Kenyatta, Olusegun Obasanjo, Americans, etc. But Abiy government, federal government, is resisting the idea of talks with the TPLF. This is what is being reported by sources which are seen as close to the Prime Minister. So, on the one hand, the Prime Minister is saying he's all for peace, he's all for dialogue, he's ready for negotiations. And he met with Tigray delegation and he reiterated his government's position that government wants to end issues through solve issues through dialogue. But on the other hand, a real effort is being made to end the conflict between TPL and federal government. Federal government is not agreeing to meet with the TPLF. Rather, it is postponing the holding of the meeting. What does it indicate? It indicates that government wants to avert a war for the time being. This is what I've been saying. Government at this point of time does not want war, federal government. But it does not mean that government is against war. At some later time, this government will try to crush or weaken TPLF. It could not weaken TPLF. Through Getachew, it tried to weaken TPLF. It could not. Through TPF, it is trying to weaken TDF. If it is not able to weaken TDF, if DDR stops, then one day government will consider using military means. It won't allow TPLF and Tigray military to form an alliance, practical alliance, military alliance with PFDJ and EDF. So government is buying time, definitely. Otherwise, TPLF and PP could have started talks months ago. Why? For direct talks. They can meet directly anytime. Today, today the Prime Minister can invite TPLF leaders to Addis Ababa. Yeah, journalists to Addis Ababa. I know that you people know too. I think that Varade wanted to meet with the Prime Minister. Recently, he tried, but he could not. So, publicly, the PM is calling for peace. When it comes to engagement with Tigray leaders, Abiy is resisting. Why? Let's see. Thanks for watching.